And here's our host, Tian Wei.
Hello and welcome to World Insight, coming to you live on CGTN from Beijing. I'm Tian Wei. Governance indeed makes a difference, something political parties leaders around the world keep in mind when making policy. With growing global uncertainties and skepticism, many wonder what makes a good political party. They say their mission is to work for the happiness of the people, hear people's concerns, and truly represent their welfare. Earlier, I asked this question at a roundtable with high-level political party officials from various countries: Serbia, Egypt, Cyprus, and Cambodia, namely from different continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. They counted the ways on how they are setting the agenda to improve governance and what lessons were learned from and experiences to be shared with China. Let's listen in. What a pleasure. We have people from all over the world coming over here. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I want to have your immediate response to what you heard earlier, the stories coming from China.
Thank you very much for hosting this event, and we're really happy, if I may speak on behalf of my colleagues and colleagues from Southeastern Europe. We're really happy to be in the beautiful Yangtze province, and we're very impressed by the results that we have seen, because it is not very often that you see that in a matter of only a couple of decades you achieve results that in our part of the world we needed hundreds of years to achieve. And I congratulate the people who have done this. The fact that poverty alleviation has been so rapid, industrialization coming from not having any industry at all to producing modern airliners, cars, and virtual goggles that we had the opportunity to try out outside. It is really amazing.
What about for you, Mr. El-Roki, coming from Egypt?
For us, we came here, to change idea and to change experience, but mainly we came here to China because it's China. Why it's China? It's the biggest economy of the world. It's by result, a number, and fact. It is the biggest or the second economy of the world. So we have to learn. We have to learn from an amazing experience, which by meaning of how can you put socialism with private sector, keeping in the same time your way of life as Chinese without change. It's not easy. It's not easy to make 1,400,000 people be productive and be a power in the economy. It's not easy. So we came here to exchange, but to learn also.
Mr. Ricky, you want to say something about your reactions to what you have seen here, and how do you think this conversation we have is likely to make parties think how to make it really relevant today?
I am particularly touched to see the presentation from the farmers, the prosperity and the success story of each of them. And we see that with prosperity of the farmers, of the people, we are embracing our nature, embracing the birds, embracing the lakes and the surrounding environment. And just to make, with this, it makes me immediately think of our farmers back home in Cambodia. At the moment, our farmers back home in Cambodia also enjoy the prosperity, the prosperity of our economy. But all this prosperity only happened with political stability and peace. And we need to realize that political stability and peace is the foundation of the prosperity.
Tell us about how your party has been cooperating with, let's just say, from China, the Chinese Communist Party. What do you think could be some of the most important areas that you can work on together or inspire each other?
Well, the Serbian Progressive Party is the largest political party in Southeastern Europe with 700,000 members, and we have some principles defined by our President Aleksandar Vučić, one of them being to maintain a sovereign and independent domestic and foreign policy and non-interference in internal affairs of sovereign states. So being 150 times smaller than China, we really appreciate the equal treatment that we are getting here in China. Not just in terms of politics, no political requests, no pressures, no demands, but also equal opportunities. And in fact, the first Chinese bridge in Europe was constructed in Serbia. With the help of Chinese government, railways and roads are being constructed, and we have really excellent cooperation on one hand. On the other hand, we have some similar experiences. We know what it means to be under unfair and under unjust sanctions. We've been subject of colored revolutions, and this is why we strongly support China's right to independently choose its own path, to choose a political system that is adapted to the needs of the Chinese people. And we also strongly support the global vision, which is much necessary for tackling a situation which is really unprecedented at the global level. We have global challenges that can only be addressed through cooperation. And this is why President Xi Jinping's idea on creation of a shared community for a shared future of mankind is so important.
What about for you, Mr. Aroki, from Egypt's perspective and your party as well?
Yeah, well my party have a very unique experience. Our party is just established 5 years ago, but the unique is it established as a youth party, just a youth party. In the beginning, supporting our president, Mr. Fattah Sisi, during his first election. So this is the case of our party just for youth. Now we have 600 quarters in all Egypt. Now we have make a medical care in the village to the farmer, even to the animal of the farmer. It's very important in Egypt. We make a competition for football or soccer. It's very good for the youth, but the way it was, we make it in every village in Egypt in the same time by the name of our party. And that's one of the ways to get the youth to the party, or to get the youth, convince them to go to the politics. We are learning here, and we are getting our experience from the Chinese Communist Party, because it's the biggest party, and also he have rules in every village and every place. It's not easy. It's the biggest party. So we have to get this experience to extend our experience.
So how to be the biggest party, and how to be the biggest political party in the biggest population, 1.4 billion in the world. I guess that's an interesting topic. We're also going to likely to tackle a bit later in our discussion. What about for you from Cyprus?
It is true that during the last 50 years, China's leadership has generated a substantial amount of growth and prosperity for the benefit of its people. Back in my country, Democratic Rally, my party, which now is the ruling party, has performed important reforms that have improved the lives of our people. To mention only two, the government of Cyprus has fully implemented a very generous and effective welfare system which helps tens of thousands of families to improve their standards of living. A second important reform was the establishment of a universal health system which provides health services to all people.
Obviously, you all have governing capabilities in your mind. This is exactly what has been advocated on the 4th session of the 19th Chinese Communist Party Congress. And obviously, all political parties these days are focusing on this issue. But really, how to improve the governing capabilities? That is the key here, to make the public really feel that their ideas are coming into the policy, and also the parties are really for the people.
We've heard here by the party secretary from Yangtze province about people being in focus of the policy of the Communist Party. So in our party, we also try to communicate with the people. And after sharing experiences with the people from the Communist Party of China, we decided to introduce mandatory quotas for our party officials to speak to the people a certain number of days, 200 years a day at least. Every senior official has a duty to receive and speak to ordinary citizens in order to make the party closer to the people. Because, in fact, all political parties should be in the service of the citizens. And, of course, fight against corruption, organized crime, as set also forth here in China by the General Secretary of the Communist Party. It is similar in Serbia. It is one of our priorities, one of the priorities of Mr. Alexander Vučić. And in fact, it has brought us greater investments. As a result of better governance, we have managed to attract 56% of direct foreign investments in the Balkan region last year, because people want to come where you have a stable and peaceful environment and where everything is secure.
Mr. Al-Roki, I know in Egypt you have very same lessons and experiences.
Yeah, I think, first of all, for any party won't be success, and he has to be near the people, I mean in their places. And then we have to talk, and that's what we are trying to do in Egypt, to each people individual. What I mean, you cannot talk to the youth same way that you are talking with a normal or big age. You have to talk to each age, which the language he will listen and he can convince. The goal also that you are convincing the people with a big project you are doing. I mean, in our country now, we are under our president, Mr. Sisi, we are building a new modern Egypt. We are suffering because we have to change our currency, free our currency, which increasing the price 120%. It was a big decision and very correct decision our president take it, because it has been late for 40 years. You have to let the people believe that this suffer will end in a good result for them. If you didn't do that, you cannot convince people. But also, when there is a suffer, the people have to see that all the people are suffering. Then, if there is a result, they have to feel that all the result is getting to all the people, not few of people and the others not.
It's not only about what you do, it's also about how you communicate with the people. It's extremely important. Mr. Ricky, from you.
Thank you so much.
Governance capabilities of political parties.
Yes. Cambodia, under the leadership of our Prime Minister Hun Sen and Cambodian People Party, we enjoy, for the past 20 years, enjoy a GDP growth of 7% annually. And over the past 20 years, we have reduced poverty from 50% to 10%. So with that prosperity, we planned to be a middle-income country by 2030 and a developed nation by 2050. With that, we need to do further reform, and good governance is at the core of our reform. And with good governance, we need accountability, and accountable to the people who elect us, accountable to the people we serve for. So our government brought up many initiatives to open dialogue and to hear directly what people have to say. So public forum is our basic initiative with the people. In fact, our Prime Minister cares so much for the people that the people can message him directly. And his office will...
How many messages is he receiving every day?
Yes. Well, Facebook
I really wonder.
Facebook is the biggest platform in Cambodia, and our Prime Minister takes suggestions and ideas on Facebook. He himself personally sometimes will reply to the message, but his office will sure take note and respond to the people's need.
I can see a lot on your agenda when it comes to development plans.
Yes.
Development is really the key word here. Mr. Aroki, from you, you just talk about how you have to be connected with the very grassroots and let the people of very grassroots feel the development is with them every day, right? You told me earlier about some specific examples, but how do you see, China's experiences, which is also enjoying a large rural areas like your country? And how do you think that there can be some interactions between the two?
We learn from China something, even some example. I remember that there is an example when I was young still. I remember that if you have a poor guy, don't give him a fish and teach him how to catch the fish. This is something in the life. And also, I'll tell you something. I read something about the President of China, Sir CGB, and he says something which I believe that if you are making a system for the village, want to know if that system is correct or not, go to the farmer and see the faces, if they are laughing or crying. This is very important, that after you make the policy, after you applying the policy of the people, you have to check if your policy in the correct way or not. I came to China beginning 25 years ago for my business. And I came to China maybe every 6 months. So I saw in myself, in my age, how a country change every 6 months. You will not see it all over the world.
Interesting. Mr. Ricky, I want to come back to you also about that, because on that point, Cambodia, being China's neighbor, knows very well about how to respect each other. And as a result of the latest development, how to have win-win in this process for all parties.
Thank you. I think in the regional partnership as well as global partnership, we need to respect each other, respect each other's sovereignty, respect each other's independence, and help each other to build peace and help each other to build prosperity. So with that regard, our Chinese counterpart, especially the Communist Party of China, has been working very closely with Cambodian People's Party to build peace, to build prosperity, and respecting our rights and our rights for self-determination. And that is important, that each of us has our own identity, our own rights for self-determination. And I think we should work closer, build a deeper friendship and relationship for the prosperity of our people.
We earlier have touched on this topic repeatedly, but before we go, I do want to have the thoughts and inspirations and insights from every one of you about exactly how are we going to achieve this, to work for the happiness of the people.
Well, I believe that we should, as it has been said here, I heard the wise thought, no one should be left behind. So no one should really be excluded from the process of development, prosperity, and, building up institutions and the economy. This includes the youth, this includes the workers, it includes all generations. And in that sense, this means also internally, but internationally, sharing links, making, by the way, the Belt and Road Initiative one of the key engines of global development. It really makes a difference in this world. The initiative One Belt, One Road offers opportunities for underdeveloped, lesser developed, developing, and even highly developed countries to cooperate on an equal basis to increase and improve their ability to exchange goods.
I see. Connectivity, extremely important. To you?
Well,
final words.
Yeah, sharing idea and sharing experience with 50 countries under this CBC, it's fantastic for us, and also really we are learning from each other everything. Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Giorgio.
We are very happy to hear before that the government of China is going to implement a complete and sufficient welfare system which will cover the whole of populations, and especially those living in rural areas and have less opportunities. It would be a major success for any government able to offer a sufficient welfare program to its people. We are very happy to announce that the government of Cyprus has been able to do that during the last 5 years or so.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Mr. Ricky.
Thank you. To make our people happier, we need to be more accountable to their needs, be more responsive, and therefore we need to do a better reform in our good governance. And thank you, our development partners, for helping us realize our goals and our prosperity. And again, self-respect and respect for self-determination we would work for that. Yeah, thank you.
Learn to improve governing capabilities while at the same time cooperation is the key for everyone. Let's put our hands together for these gentlemen. Thank you for their stories and also their experiences.